And welcome in to 2024 and another edition of Hybrid Let's Play. I am Hybrid, and on today's stream, we're gonna chill a little bit. We're gonna chill in our little demo area here. We're gonna do a little chatting. Ooh, starting it off frigid, I see. Thank you, Zephyr, for freezing us for a second there. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Congratulations on getting first. That doesn't mean anything here. Maybe a little too chill? Never. We're just gonna... Good thing you're wearing a long sleeve shirt. Yeah, who got me that shirt, Cosmic? Who indeed? But welcome in. Yes, it is, in fact, the long-awaited tier list stream for 2023. Santa. Yes, Santa. Thanks, Santa. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go through our games that we played in 2023. We're gonna put them on the tier list as per the usual. This will be technically only our second straight year of doing it. We did retroactively this past streamiversary do 2021's, which means that after today, the only one we have left to do technically is 2020, which would be really short because there's probably only about like 5 or 6 games we played in 2020 since we started in like late August that year. But I'm excited. We have all our games here on the bottom of the screen, and just to show kind of what we're dealing with here, we have our tiers. Do 2020 on April 1st? Maybe. We have these colors also did not save, but that's okay. We have S tier, which is like the creme de la creme. A tier, which is like really great, but maybe just like 1 or 2 little things just kind of holding it back from being S tier. B tier is quite good, but not great. C is fine. D is bad but not irredeemable, and F is actually irredeemable. We're gonna have some F games this year, folks. And then we have a new section this year called honorable mentions. These are games I decided to put like demos, quick looks, anything like that wasn't like a full playthrough, that I didn't get like, I would say, like the full picture of. I'm gonna throw in the honorable mentions category. And we can go ahead and start with those two. We have 2 games right here. 1080p snowboarding. How dare you, Cosmic? We can start with 2 games real quick. 1080p snowboarding, which we played literally on Saturday for the first time. Bemberdurk, Flumberdersh, S tier, never. No spoilies, guys. 1080 we're gonna put here in the honorable mentions along with Pilot Wings 64. Which were 2 games we did a little quick looks for. I'm pretty sure both came like when we had kind of finished games, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Let's just find something on Nintendo Switch Online to play. So both are going here in the honorable mentions category. Both are quite foreign. 1080 snowboarding creeping in at the bell. It did. It got the vaunted honorable mention under the wire. It shredded right in there. I actually quite like 1080 snowboarding. It is very hard, and it can also be a little bit murder on the thumbs. But it seems really cool. I had never played before, and I was actually really glad we tried it out. Pilot Wings is a lot of fun. It's also quite hard in some of the events, but it's a lot of fun. I still love just like getting the gyrocopter or like the wingsuit and going across not America, and just hanging out. It's really cool. So I really enjoyed that game from the youth, but these are both going in the honorable mentions category. So as you can see, our full list here of games, these were kind of thrown in random order. I had kind of tried to put them in order of when I played them, and then I had to like redo the tier list, and when I did, it just imported all the pictures in random order, so it's fine. Also, for the first time, we have all square pictures, so nothing looks super weird. I'm really happy about that. So with that, let's get into our first, I guess, official game of the tier listing, and we're gonna start with Error, which is a mod for Portal 1. We played this right before we started Alan Wake 2. Mistakes were learned from. Exactly. Always learning. I liked Error. It wasn't my favorite game in the world. I really liked the beginning of it. I thought that there was some like very like spooky stuff and messing with the conception of how the game should work. And then it's like once it kind of got into the back half and the escape part of Portal, it kind of tried to start telling a story, and that's, I think, where it sort of fell apart a little bit. Otherwise it was like pretty darn good. I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. It might be really low B tier by the end, but otherwise I think we're going to keep it in B tier. Also, as we do the tier list, we will be sorting within tiers. So, except for our honorable mention, I'm not sorting honorable mentions. But within tiers, the more closer to the letter a game is, the higher in that specific tier it is. So, but Error was good. I don't know. I almost kind of want to drop it into C because of how much it does sort of fall apart towards the end. It did have a really good atmosphere. And I don't know. It feels like after the first couple rooms, it just can't quite deliver on what it's trying to do. Which is a shame because it's really good in those first couple rooms. Yeah, I think we're just gonna put it here. We're gonna put it in C tier. I might change my mind later. All right, next game, one we literally just finished, Super Mario RPG. This is the Mario RPG remake, a game that I played quite a bit when I was a kid when it first came out, and really enjoyed it. Was really excited for it to come out, and yeah, it's really good. I'm throwing it in A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier, so I'm gonna say why it's not S tier first. The game is really easy. Like really easy. Until you hit the post-game bosses, which actually do make you think a little bit. Everything up until like sort of Smithy, even Smithy is pretty easy at the end. But I don't know. I thought that by and large, the rest of the game is actually quite easy, which I think knocks it down a peg. I also think they just made the game by some of the stuff they added with like the combo meter and the triple moves and stuff like that. It didn't seem like they actually like sort of rebalanced the game with those things in mind, and with like splash damage. The fact that if you time a defensive thing perfectly, you now get automatic 0, where I believe in the original that didn't happen. Usually you would just get like half damage. It made the game a lot easier, and I really wish they had put like a sort of classic difficulty where some of that stuff was like toned down or just taken out completely. Maybe they still want to leave like the combo meter in to build like to where it doesn't give you any benefit until you actually hit 100%, and then you can do a triple move. That would have still been cool, but the rest, like take out splash damage, take out perfect guard, take out that stuff, and I think it would have been a little bit better, especially again for people who had already played the game and just were looking forward to playing it again. I have no problem with adding the features they did, and even adding an easier mode. If you've never played the game and you're not really big in RPGs, but you want to see what all the fuss was about, those are great. Those are amazing. Choice is good. I wish there had just been the choice to have it be a little bit harder instead of The only option being then to not interact at all with those systems, which kind of sucks. Otherwise, the reimagining of the art style is really good, making it seem like it was actually back in the day was really good. I really appreciated that. The musical remixes were amazing. The post-game content overall was good. I wouldn't say all the bosses were great, but they were good overall. QLX 3D though was absolutely a highlight. That was really good and felt like a proper challenge, and I really appreciated that. I really enjoyed the QLX 3D fight. That was really good. Otherwise, the game is still really good. The story is really fun. It's really basic, but it's really fun. The characters are really fun. It's hard to kind of think now, but this was some of like the first times like Bowser and Peach really got personalities, and I guess even Mario to an extent. These are the first time these characters really got personalities, and Malo and Geno are memorable characters in their own right. Geno, of course, has constantly been a character people wanted in Smash. And so to have all that, I thought was really strong. So not a perfect remake, because I would have liked to have seen them maybe make it a little bit more difficult, or have the option to make it a little more difficult without just saying go do post-game content. But otherwise, very strong game. Solid A game. Next we have a game that technically we didn't finish, but is not going in honorable mentions. And it's one of the only ones. This game is Pyre. It's from the same people who made Hades and Transistor, and I think a couple other games like Bastion, I think is the other game. Pyre is a tough game because it's clearly a very good game. It's just a game that isn't for me. So it's really hard to decide like how do you grade that? Because like the writing in the game, and there's a ton of writing in this game. It's basically a visual novel. The writing in the game is top notch. The characters by and large are really good. The art style is really good. The music is really good. The gameplay, the actual like, and I'm using the term because I don't remember the actual name for it, the sports ball part of it was fine. And at the end of the day is part of why I didn't want to keep playing, because that part got kind of boring after a while when it was just like repeating over and over. And that's actually the big part of why it's hard to give Pyre a grade, because I'm not a big fan of roguelike games. And I didn't know that that's what this was before coming into it. I remember back in the day seeing Super Best Friends play it on stream, or not on stream, but in a video one time, and they played it just for about like half an hour, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And early this in 2023, I saw that I had actually gotten it one time in a Humble Bundle, and I was like, oh, awesome, I want to try this out. And it really gripped me at first. It was really good. It was really compelling. And then the closer I got to the part where it repeats, I was like, oh no, don't do it to me. Don't do it to me, Pyre. And then it did it. So, and after like a couple loops, I just started getting bored. So it's tough because I feel like people who like roguelikes would really like it, because everything, like all the hallmarks of their kind of games are there. It's not for me. I'm gonna put it in B tier, I think. because I think if I actually liked the style of game, it would probably be A tier, but it's too good of an actual game to put it like in C tier just because it's not for me. So I'm gonna put it in B tier, and I think that's what we're gonna go with. I think we're gonna go with B tier. Okay, next game. This, I couldn't actually find art for it, so I just got like a GIF that was on the game's homepage on itch.io. This is a game called Hotel Paradise. We played it on New Year's Eve technically last year, but that was after I had done 2022's tier list, so it hadn't jumped in yet. This is a game where you essentially wander halls forever. Technically, yes, it's been 2 years. Hotel Paradise is a game where you are given a key to a room in a hotel with a room number on it, and you have to just go down an infinite set of corridors that follow no logic into what the next, like every time you turn, it's like, oh, I'm in the 420 hallway. Great. And then you turn right and it's the 150 hallway. And then you turn left and it's the 740. On paper, that sounds, so thankfully it's short enough where it doesn't make you actually go crazy. I think we played it in 15 minutes. Any longer and I would have lost my mind. And apparently a previous version, not the version we played, but a previous version of that game, at time, there was a chance that your room number would just never show up. And that would have driven me crazy. This is a very art game. This is a very experimental game. It's a very kind of joke game. I can't put it any higher than C tier. If you want to go try it out, be my guest. Once you actually get in the room, it's trippy and weird and hilarious. So, but it's not really a game. So I'm not putting it any higher than C tier. If you want to go check it out, again, it's called Hotel Paradise. It's on itch.io. Have fun or not. Because it's literally just going to, I found 2 rooms in that premium hotel. That was enough for me. Spacewalk. Yeah, let's see real quick. Real quick here. Itch.io. So here you go. Now let me unzoom. This is it. It's Hotel Paradise by Kay Clavier, I think. Let's see. So yeah, it's a name your own price game. And like you can kind of see, let's see if we can zoom in. So this is kind of what it looks like. So yeah, you'll come to a hall and you're like, okay, so then I'll go this one, and then you'll get to the end of a hall and then it'll be a different set of numbers, and like there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. So definitely an interesting game. Definitely something you'd find on itch.io. And it's pretty old at this point. I think it's like almost 10 years old now. So yeah, go check that out. All right, so that's that. This is how the tier list is looking so far. Our next game is called A Short Hike, a game we actually played right before Hotel Paradise on the same stream. This game was actually quite good. I was really impressed by it. It's on the shorter side. I think it only took us about an hour and a half to scale the mountain, but it's a nice, it's like the definition of a cozy game. You're just a little bird. You are going up a mountain and you're just making the trek up. You meet with some unique and interesting characters. You can fly a little bit. There's no combat. There's some collecting, which is really cool. But I really enjoyed A Short Hike. Again, it's very short, but it's one of those like small indie dev games that for the most part on our stream we've really enjoyed. So I really liked it. I don't think I'm gonna put it in quite A tier because it's just not long enough. It doesn't have a ton of depth to it, but otherwise, like, I thought it was quite good. I'm gonna put it in B tier. So yeah, I thought Short Hike was really good, and it has like a nice little moment at the end when you finally get to the summit. There is like a little bit of a story to it, just enough to keep it interesting. But like once you've kind of done everything in those first couple hours, you've pretty much done everything. But again, I would say it is a quite enjoyable 2 hours or so that you will play with A Short Hike. So I really enjoyed it. I don't think I could put it in A tier, but it'll probably be near the top of B tier by the end of all of this. All right. Oh, we're getting it. Oh my God. I just saw the next 4 games are. We're about to hit essentially a murderer's row, which also means that after these next 4, it's way downhill. I'm kidding. Let's talk about Alan Wake 2 a little bit. You want to talk about Alan Wake? We're going to talk about Alan Wake 2 a little bit. Alan Wake 1. I don't remember where Alan Wake 1 ended up. Actually, wait, I can look this up real quick. I'm not going to put that on that screen because I believe I have my tier lists. My previous tier lists here. Where is... Did we play Alan Wake in 2021? Yes. Okay, so Alan Wake, when we did our tier list for 2021, was... I can put this up here. Ended up being right here. Smack dab in the middle of A tier. And looking at it, yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense, actually. This, of course, was the remastered version. It was a game I enjoyed, but like, it's weird because it does end on a sort of cliffhanger, but I never was like clamoring for the cliffhanger. I felt like the DLC did like a pretty good job of like being post game, and also just knowing like it had been about 10 years since the original game came out, or maybe a little bit more. I was like, yeah, you know, it was a fun game, and you know, it was kind of like a one-off, an interesting little thing from Remedy, but you know, it was good. But you know, I wasn't like chomping at the bit to play more Alan Wake. And then they announced Alan Wake 2, and I was like, okay. And didn't really think about it a whole lot until it got maybe a couple months out from release. And then I was like, okay. And then I started seeing like a trailer or two, and I was like, okay, this looks really interesting. Because they're adding a second playable character. Alan's gonna be in New York, or a version of New York. It's gonna be a little like True Detective-y. There's a cult. It's like, okay, this seems pretty cool. This is something I could get down with. And I tell you what, this is one of the best games I've ever played. I really enjoyed Alan Wake 2. I'm excited eventually in the next little bit here to start New Game Plus and see what's different. Apparently there is like a new ending to New Game Plus, and there's new things that happen in New Game Plus, so it's not just like repeat the game with all the stuff you've already picked up. It's kind of a new experience, which perpetuates sort of what happens at the end of the original playthrough, with the game sort of, or the world sort of being in a loop. So it's pretty interesting. The combat isn't my favorite, but I feel like combat is kind of secondary in Alan Wake and in Alan Wake 2, so that wasn't surprising. It's not bad, it's not my absolute favorite. Especially Alan's part gets a little repetitive with the ghost people, so that's a bit of a bummer. But the graphics are obviously amazing. The music is wonderful. The art direction is wonderful. All the actors are great. The Koskela brothers bits are hilarious and stupid. Herald of Darkness is wonderful, and I'm so glad they did it at the Game Awards live. That was tremendous. If you have not seen the performance of Herald of Darkness from the Game Awards, go just, I give you permission to go leave for 4 minutes and watch it on YouTube. It's fantastic. That whole segment of the game was just like Remedy just having fun. And not only that, but I think like the thing that doesn't really get talked about, like Herald of Darkness really like sucks up a lot of the oxygen, because there's some other great things like the Dark Ocean summoning sequence towards the end of the game with Sage. Like, yeah, it's kind of just a horde mode, but the song is really good and it's really intense, and I really, as hard as it kind of was for me, I really enjoyed it. And also the fact that they put like a 16-minute art house film in the game of Yoten Yo. Like, who does that? Who just puts an actual 16-minute movie in their game? Like, to me, that was, it's like, give me 1 second. It's like Remedy really just wants to make TV shows, but they just also are kind of in the video game space, which has also made me think kind of tangentially about Quantum Break for multiple reasons. Because it always felt like previously that Remedy wanted to make a game and they needed money, and Microsoft was willing to give it to them, but Microsoft at the time was really pushing like TV and movies for as part of their like entire entertainment Xbox service package. And that's why they asked Remedy to throw the TV parts into Quantum Break. But now after playing Alan Wake 2, I'm like, either Remedy asked them, Microsoft, to do it, or Microsoft didn't have to twist their arm very hard to get them to make an actual live TV show, because that really seems like something the Remedy team really enjoys doing. So and they pull off the live action parts in Alan Wake 2 so well. The story is really well done. The switching between characters is really well done. Ahti showing up is great. I also, it seems like there's some connections to Quantum Break. It looks like Lance Henriksen potentially was supposed to be Wallendor until he passed away earlier this year and was replaced by David Harewood. And like David Harewood knocks Door out of the park. In Herald of Darkness, he's fantastic when he's talking to Alan like midway through the game and kind of being all menacing. It works. But there definitely seems like there was going to be that sort of connection to Quantum Break, especially given Sean Ashmore is also in both games. So that was a little unfortunate. But the game is amazing. I can't wait until the DLC comes out. We're gonna have fun playing the DLC whenever it happens, like the actual like DLC packs. And yeah, as of now, Alan Wake 2 is currently like top dog. It's phenomenal. I cannot recommend Alan Wake 2 enough. It is wonderful. And for the record, if Alan Wake 2 stands as the top game of the year in the S tier, this will be the second time in 3 years Remedy will have the top ranked game on the tier list. But we have a lot of games to go. So we'll see what happens. Next game is Cocoon. And this was definitely a game that kind of came out of nowhere for me. it got announced at, I think, like an E3 or maybe a Microsoft indie conference or something. Is it possible another game here could remedy that? It's possible. I don't know that it'll happen, but it's possible. We'll see. We'll see. And so when Cocoon was first like announced, I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and it's kind of from the dudes that made Inside and Limbo, so like that's good pedigree. But like I didn't really ever think about it, to be honest. And then it popped up on Game Pass on release, and I was like, oh, I'm actually between games, or I was about to be between games. Let's give it a try and see what this is about. And I'm so glad I did, because Cocoon was amazing. A tight, focused, well-crafted puzzle game. I remember at the time remarking, who put boss fights in my puzzle game? And the boss fights felt really good. That was the craziest part about that. The boss fights were some of the best parts of that puzzle game. Because it was all puzzles. The concept of going into different worlds and carrying other worlds with you as you do it, so you can manipulate them, was really awesome. The different biomes were varied. The art style was really good. The puzzles were very smartly done. I think the part I remember saying this during the playthrough, but I cannot appreciate enough how in a puzzle game, especially one as like somewhat brain bending as this one, sort of pushing the player and corralling them into an area, like locking off other parts of the world and saying, no, everything you need to figure out this puzzle in front of you is in this area. You don't need to backtrack. It's all here, is so welcome. I cannot tell you, especially back in the day, like how many times you would play a puzzle game or an adventure game and you would backtrack across the entire map because maybe you forgot like an item that you didn't click on, or this or that, and it turns out maybe, oh no, the answer is actually right here. But because the game allows you to go anywhere at any time, pretty much, you end up exploring a bunch of stuff you don't need to. And that's not what Cocoon did. Cocoon kind of linearly guides you along its route and says everything you need to solve the puzzle is right here. And I really, really appreciated that, because as brain bending as some of those puzzles were, every one of them followed a good sort of logic. I never came out of a puzzle in that game thinking, oh, this was dumb, oh, this was obtuse, oh, how was I supposed to figure that out? The only time I thought that, because I guess technically there is a time I thought that, the only time I thought that is after we finished the game and we learned that there was actually a second ending where you had to do some like Tunic like button pressing. But unlike in Tunic, the game doesn't really nudge you that there's something else to do. That felt bad. That was the only thing I'm like, that was a little obtuse. How was I supposed to know that? And then upon reading what you have to do, I'm like, oh god, no, this is really obtuse. Which is unfortunate. Thankfully, the second ending is like only 20 seconds of added content, and you can easily look it up on YouTube, so no harm, no foul, really. Because the rest of the game is fantastic. I wish it had been slightly longer. I think that team could have pulled it off, because it was only about 2 playthroughs for us. I think we beat it in less than 6 hours. I think they could have just done a little bit more, but I will always take a somewhat shorter experience that's tight and focused over bloat, and I never felt like there was bloat in Cocoon. So I am going to throw Cocoon in A tier right here. It's amazing. If you enjoy puzzle games, I think there's no reason you shouldn't. There is no reason not to play Cocoon. There it is. That game is phenomenal. I think it won a game award, which it absolutely deserved, because I feel like I didn't really hear many people talk about Cocoon, but just a super creative game. Again, wonderful art direction. There's a story. The story is very, I'll say, predictable and kind of whatever, which is probably also one of the things that's keeping it out of S tier. But otherwise, just as a puzzle game, amazing stuff. I was so happy we ended up playing that. All right. Next game is Convergence, a League of Legends story. And let me tell you, Riot Forge has had a really good run on this channel. I'm sure part of it is because I'm really into League of Legends, but we have now played 4 Riot Forge games on this channel. All 4 have been really cool. And Convergence might be the best of them all. I go back and forth of like, is it better than Ruined King? Which, if I can pull up our previous tier list here. Oh, not this one. This one? Yeah. This one came second to Tunic in 2022. Ruined King was really good. So Riot Forge has done really well. We'll have Convergence coming up. We'll also have, of course, Song of Nunu, as well as the Mage Seeker that we played as well. But Convergence is, without throwing a spoiler up, the best of the 3. It's again, tight game. I think we probably put about 10 hours into it. It's a Metroidvania that follows the character Echo, who's got like time rewind powers. And the way they implemented that into a Metroidvania of rewinding time if you take damage to heal yourself and try again, was so smart. The way they implemented his other abilities from League was really well done and felt really true to the character. The art style was really good. The voice acting was really well done. I think sometimes the voice direction let them down, or it was the voice editing, I felt, that maybe created some longer pauses than needed to be. But the actual voice acting from the actors was, I thought, really well done. The music, the remixes of Echo's theme throughout the game, as well as themes from some other champions, was really well done. The fights against the champions, including like fighting Camille and Jinx and Warwick, were really good. The original characters they brought in were also pretty good. The story, again, a little basic, but getting to see future Echo was cool. The post-credits stinger that actually this is all really connected in the League world, and having like the Project universe and other like the Star Guardian universe all out there was really weird and interesting, and I don't know if they're going to go somewhere with that, but that was cool. It had enough collectibles to keep exploring interesting. The Orange challenge rooms were really good and really made it feel challenging, for lack of a better word, especially like the last one. I remember just throwing myself at again and again. Convergence, for the most part, always felt tough but fair, except for like one enemy. And it wasn't even a boss. It was like a normal enemy. It was like the skull that had like the 2 like shields on either side. I hated those guys. that's why that one last challenge room took so long, really. But otherwise, like, it felt like you were playing Echo, and in a single player game, the movement felt really good. Running around Zon felt really good. Running along walls, the platforming, everything felt really, really good. I had so few complaints about this game. Just really, really enjoyable. And I will tell you what, I think it's an S tier. I think it's an S tier. I really enjoyed this game. Every aspect of it seemed bang on. And yeah, God, it was such a good game. So yeah, it takes its place in S tier. I don't know if it'll stay right here, but gosh darn it, again, it's just so hard to find faults with this game, in my opinion. Just really, like, maybe the only fault is like there's somewhat of a lack of enemy variety, but other than that, like, it's just such a good game, such a good Metroidvania. So with that, we're actually going to take a quick break, because I'm realizing we have done about a third of the game so far, and my throat is getting a little scratchy, so I'm going to take a quick break to rest up a little bit, and then we're going to come back and do some more tier listing here on Hybrid Let's Play. Don't you go anywhere. And welcome back to Hyper Let's Play. All right. So, where were we? Yes. Metroid Prime. Cosmic. It helps for editing. What can I say? Did Cece get a snack? Cece's got plenty of snacks. Cece has all her snacks. So yeah, Metroid Prime. So we played a version we got from our Wii U. I do have all my snacks. We were able to pull from the Wii U the Metroid Prime Trilogy version, and then we were able to apply a 4K resolution upscaler to it. And man, that game still looks really good. I like to also think we manifested by playing this the Metroid Prime remaster that came out earlier this year, because it was literally like we finished the game and I think a week later there was the Nintendo Direct where they announced Metroid Prime remaster, and I was like, oh, you're welcome, universe. But man, that game just really holds up shockingly well. And it's funny because a lot of times we talk about, as we'll get to later in this tier list, in fact, there's some games that went for like hyper realism around the early 3D stuff between like the Nintendo 64 and maybe like the PS3 era. So like games would go for like hyper realism and later would look terrible, whereas like games that went for a more like a different art style, kind of like Wind Waker, could look better the further you got from it, because it wasn't so polygonal, it was a little bit softer around the edges, the art style would hold up better. Metroid Prime somehow kind of avoids that. We're literally just doing a texture resolution update, not changing anything, just literally saying, let's just bump up the resolution of these textures. Everything looks amazing. Like a lot of the games, like I don't think you could just do that too, but this is a game where it absolutely works. The remaster looks great. And again, just taking the trilogy version and throwing HD textures on it is great. So kudos to the person that did that. I have forgotten their name. I'm so sorry. But man, Metroid Prime, and again, for a series that like had to transition into the world of 3D, to go from a 2D like platformer shooter into the world of 3D was insane. But which snack are you snacking on right now? Welcome in, Cheese. Welcome. Cece has all the snacks. She it's tough to determine which snack she's chewing on at any one time, but welcome in. Happy New Year's. Hope you're doing well. We are pontificating about games we played in 2023 right now. Currently talking about Metroid Prime. I'm also not listening to this song. We are moving on from this song. There we go. Wait, Cosmic, what are you talking about? What chocolate tartlets? I don't even know you. What are you talking about? Prime is an excellent game. That and Prime 2 are heavily underrated. I have been holding off on playing Prime 2 again to see, because the last time we played Prime, we finished it, and a week later, Nintendo did a direct where they announced Metroid Prime Remaster. So I'm holding off. I'm holding off hope that we can wait on playing Metroid Prime 2 again until they announce the remaster. So I don't have to pull it again from my Wii U and do texture upscaling. But yeah, Metroid Prime 2 is really good, except for Quadraxis. You know what you did, Quadraxis. You know what you did. There may also be Swedish Fish and Munchkin. Well, I saw those. I just didn't know what the chocolate tartlets were. Okay, Cosmo, that's fine. Prime 3 is rated. Yeah, I never finished Prime 3. It never happened. But Prime 1, gosh darn it, that game is really good. Quadraxis is my gamer moment. I was not able to game. I tried it like a couple times and I could not do it. I probably could have if I already had the light suit by that point, but considering he gives you the light suit, yeah, it's tough. I will say about Prime 1, the artifact quest, I don't know if it's just because I sort of knew where things were. The artifact quest didn't feel nearly as bad as like I felt like it was. Like, this was not Triforce hunting and Wind Waker bad. This was just like, it's fine. You kind of have an idea of where to go. The game kind of tells you what room it's in, at least. I beat on my first playthrough, no Echo Visor. God, it's been so long since I've tried that. Like, I guess it was like 2004? 2003 maybe, actually? So, Nintendo, remaster it so I can try again. Because I would like to try again. Or tell me you're never going to, and I'll just play the trilogy version on stream. Just one way or another, man. I need to know. Doug Bowser, call me. Yeah, Prime is really good. I don't love the actual eponymous Metroid Prime fight. It's probably the weakest part of the entire game, but the rest of the game is just so darn good. The music is amazing and iconic at this point with things like Phendrana Drifts and Magmore Caverns. The enemies are varied. The bosses besides Metroid Prime are really fun. It's really, really good, and it feels super tight to play. I didn't know you could target the antenna if you swap visors. The artifact quest isn't bad because you're still unlocking paths and items on the revisits. Usually, yeah. Tons of your words, good hints, and story author. Yeah, I remember there was a moment Zephyr clipped when we were about to fight Flagra, the first boss, the plant boss, and like we're literally in the room, the hallway leading into her chamber, and the hint visor pops up and it's like, hey, there's unusual activity detected in this room right here, the one you're about to go in. And I'm like, thanks, game, appreciate it. Yeah, I know, game, but thank you. Still appreciate the hints, but it was like, you can clearly tell I'm about to get there, game. You know, there's no other room for me to go to from this hallway. See that door in front of you? Real sussy baka. I'm gonna throw Metroid Prime. I think I'm going to throw it. Which Metroid game is better, Convergence or Metroid Prime? I think I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put it right there. So look at how good of a year we've had so far. I know these games were put in kind of a random order, but look at what we got. We got 3 games in S tier. We got 2 games in A, 2 games in B, and 2 games in C. Especially that Magmore Cavern song. Oh, it's amazing. So like we've had a really good year for games. It's been phenomenal so far. Let's talk about Starfield. I swear I didn't. Again, this was picked randomly or ordered randomly. I didn't do this. Oh, Starfield. I have thought about this game a lot. And I have thought about what I was going to say about this game a lot. And I still can't fully figure out what I kind of feel about this game. Like, at all. So again, I mentioned this while I was playing it. I've never played a Bethesda game until Starfield. I never played Skyrim, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, any of it. I never played in either the Evil Withins or any other, I think, Bethesda game. Never played any of them. And so I was like, I never really had much interest in Starfield. I even remember when we were playing Jedi Fallen Order back in 2022, early 2022. Someone came into my stream, was super nice, and they were like, yeah, I can't wait for Starfield. And I was like, oh yeah, that game's getting delayed. That game's not coming out this year. Sure enough, I was right. That game got delayed like essentially a full year. And it was only maybe like a couple weeks before it came out that I actually got sort of interested in it. One was I found out that there was a third person mode because I'm not the biggest fan of first person games, as we just put Metroid Prime in S tier. The other thing is they threw it on Game Pass. And I was like, okay, I can give it a try. It's there, it's free for paying the subscription. I can try it out. We'll see what happens. Everybody's talking about it. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what all the hubbub is about. And like, it's fine. Like, the main story is okay. It started off kind of interesting, and then when like the future selves, spoilers, the future selves part comes in, when you don't know that it's future selves, it's kind of interesting. But once it's revealed who they are, it's not as interesting anymore. The reason that hyperdrives exist is kind of weird. And then there's just like, the planets are super empty and devoid of life in ways that just don't, like, you would see like people complain about it in the Steam reviews, and then Bethesda employees would come in there and be like, oh, but that's just how space is. It is empty. Planets are empty. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but, and I believe this is one of the quotes Zephyr has saved in my stream. A hot take, your video game should be fun. And just going to planet after planet with nothing there except maybe like a randomly generated cave that looks like every other randomly generated cave in the game isn't good. It's not fun. Traversing the planets with no vehicles is not fun. Being encumbered and having to try and get back to your ship because you now can't fast travel there isn't fun. That said, some of the missions were actually quite good. There's the planet where it's like trapped in between realities and you have to go between like the current one, excuse me, cough drop, and like the sort of messed up reality, and you have to go back and forth, opening doors and finding key cards and warping back and forth. And it's really interesting. And it feels like that just never comes back. Maybe there's a side quest that I didn't find, which is totally possible because I know I didn't do a lot of side quests. Maybe that like gameplay idea gets brought back, but that was interesting. But there just wasn't enough like that it felt like it could make the game interesting. Starfield feels like it expects you to fill in the gaps with imagination a lot. Yeah, and like, it tries to be a role-playing game, and in that sense, like, you're right, Zephyr, it seems like it wants you to. But I've said this multiple times talking about the game. One of the things that really put me off about it was at the end, spoilers again for Starfield, I guess. When you hit the end point, you're given the option to go through the Unity, which is essentially starting New Game Plus, or you can stay here and complete more missions and quests, and then go through the Unity when you're ready. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna go through the Unity because maybe I want to like actually like do some more stuff. This is before I really knew we were gonna end the playthrough there. And then so you come out of the Unity and everybody's like kind of surprised to see you back, but every person, including Andrasia, who we wifed, every single person we talked to essentially said, "You dummy, what are you still doing here? Go through the Unity so you can start New Game Plus." And at that point, I'm just like, this isn't role playing anymore. This isn't my story. Because my story is, I don't want to go through the Unity. I don't want to give up what I have in this reality and start again. And that should be my choice. But it felt like every single person, including Andrasia, made it seem like I was making the bad choice. And it's like, why? Jeezy, welcome in. Happy New Year. I'm a little bit fired up about Starfield. Hope you had a good New Year's. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, the shipbuilding seems cool. I wasn't super into it, but a lot of other people said they actually liked that part, so good for them. And then another thing that makes it confusing is, especially once we need to tier list it out here, how much do I give credit to all the mods I installed that did a bunch of quality of life stuff that Bethesda hasn't done or still hasn't done? Like, I remember every time like one of the mods for the menus would break, I would be like, oh God, this looks awful. And so like, how much does Starfield get credit on the tier list for things it didn't even do? Like, I almost as fired up as the store itself. Oh yeah, we're going supernova here. Yeah, it's like there was a ton of potential here and it just totally failed, I think. And it's not that there's no good moments in the game. It's not that there's moments I didn't have fun in the game. It's just, this could have been so much more. And especially to come out in 2023 when there were so many great games and you were supposed to be one. This is when you throw in the Tyra Banks, we believed in you, I believed in you, we all believed in you gif. This is when you throw it at Starfield and it's like, other years, maybe you could have still been like a top game for that year. But this year, no, it wasn't good enough. And when you take into consideration how long this game was in development, it's really disappointing. If they had maybe done like 2 star systems and with about like, I don't know, 15 to 20 planets and however many moons or whatever, and you just go between those 2 systems and just made it a lot tighter. I mean, that's apparently one of my favorite words in this tier list, tight. It could have been so much better, but it's just, and like you can tell, like as other people have said, like you can tell there's a bunch of stuff that's been cut, like all the planetary effects, most of them don't seem to matter at all. Like it's really disappointing. I'm going to give Starfield, I think, a D. It has enough redeeming qualities where I don't want to put it as a total F, but it's so disappointing. And I guess D does stand for disappointing. I hope they rebound. I know they're coming out with some DLC. We'll see. I don't think I'll ever go back to it. So it's really disappointing because this could have been, like, you can tell there's a game here that could have been really good, and they they overproduced. They leaned into too many of the wrong things and didn't lean into too much of the right things. And so it's just really disappointing to see. So, all right. Next game. Not disappointing. The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. This is a game we finally were able to get around to this year. This is one of also, I believe, 3 Zelda games that are on the tier list here. This one was a lot of fun. I knew, like, so many people had always talked about this game, and I had never played it because I didn't have a Game Boy Advance or anything. But it came on Nintendo Switch Online this year, and so we streamed it, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I can see why people like this game. The ending, the last like couple dungeons aren't my favorite, but the rest of the game is really good. I don't love the Kinstone feature as much, but Lazo the Hat's really fun. The other dungeons are really good. They're really solid top-down Zeldas. The collectibles you find are really good. So again, not my favorite Zelda game, but certainly good. Certainly one of the better 2D ones. So I'm gonna throw it here at the bottom of, currently at the bottom of A tier. I'm not gonna put it above Mario RPG or Cocoon yet, or not yet. It's not gonna go above these, but I definitely I think it's better than a B. I wouldn't mind seeing it get remastered like Link's Awakening. I don't think it's in need of it more than the Oracle games, as we'll get to one of those here in just a little bit. But otherwise, I think it's a solid game. If you like Zelda, if you like Zelda-esque games and you haven't gotten a chance to play it, play it. It's really good overall. I really enjoyed it. Next, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So we played this as a demo, so this is gonna get thrown into honorable mentions. So I am not a big fan of Rabbids. Like, I think they're just kind of dumb. But, and I also say, I don't really like XCOM games. But we gave it a chance because, again, free demo. And I have to say, we might play this at some point on stream. I quite enjoyed my time with it. The story parts and like the Rabbids again are pretty annoying, but the combat does seem really fun. There's no, or doesn't seem to be, at least an XCOM-esque like 97% chance to hit and you miss sort of thing. It seems like if you can reach the enemy with your attack, it's going to hit. And I appreciate that. So I don't know, maybe one day, you know, when the game is done and it goes on a big sale, because I know these games usually do go on sale, maybe one day we'll pick it up and we'll stream it, because it did seem, from when we played the demo, pretty fun. So that was really cool. All right. Okay. This is our next game. This is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And we're gonna put it in honorable mentions because I still haven't beaten this game. I have had this game now for 7 months and haven't beaten it. I'm really close. You've seen in our quick look on stream, we've done most of the game at this point. There's still like, I think like 15 or 20 shrines left to get. But we haven't actually beaten it yet. Part of that is because I played it a ton when it first did come out and then got a little burned out on it from playing just so much. I also got really busy with work after about a month of having it, so that kind of like threw me off, kind of prevented me from playing anymore, and just kind of dropped me off of it. But I have probably sunk overall, I think it's over 150 hours into it. And when you consider like I put over 200 hours into Breath of the Wild, the fact that I was able to come back and play another 150 hours in essentially the same game world is kind of remarkable. The remixing they did though throughout the game, whether it's the Yiga hideout or places like the Shrine of Resurrection or Hyrule Castle itself, or the additions they made, like the first little settlement you go to that's right in front of Hyrule Castle, having to the mission to rebuild Lurelin, or I guess it's Lorelin. I think we found out Lorelin village. The remixing they did in this game was really, really good, and they kept it overall really, really fresh. I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more to do in the sky. Like, there is a decent amount to do, but it just seemed like from everything we saw about the game leading up to it, it was like the sky was going to be a big part of it, and it's a part, but I wouldn't really call it a big part of it besides the fact that you start there. Like, the depths are arguably a much bigger part of the game than the sky is. But overall, I really liked it. I've enjoyed what I've played so far. I've enjoyed the story so far more than I did Breath of the Wild. If I had played this entire game on stream, it would probably be my game of the year. It would probably be right here. It would either be right here or right here. It'd be in one of these two places. But because we only did like a few, like I think we probably did less than 20% of my total game time on stream. I'm gonna keep it here in the honorable mentions section. This game is phenomenal. I truly, truly love it. And I can't wait to beat it in 2024. And I don't have it with me. But for Christmas, one of my gifts was actually the hardcover of the strategy guide. I don't remember who made it. But it's an amazing book. I found out that there's a quest I just completely missed in the game, which was kind of nutty. But yeah, it's a really good book. I think we're gonna end up putting it somewhere around here or around here. I'm not sure yet, but it'll be somewhere up here. It's currently downstairs. But yeah, I really love Tears of the Kingdom. I'm happy with 3D Zelda continuing this direction. I would like to see some tweaks made, but overall, if this is, if open world Zelda is where we're going in the future for 3D Zelda, fantastic. Let's keep going and keep refining this formula for a while. I enjoy this. So yeah, again, Tears of the Kingdom is going to end up in honorable mentions, but if we were actually grading it, it would be somewhere in here. Okay. Next game is Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. This was a very anticipated game for the stream. The first time we did a long stream, I think it was like 6 hours. It was like our longest stream at that time. We played through the entirety of Oxenfree 1, and that was an amazing experience. So as soon as they announced the sequel, I was like, let's go. I'm here for it. Let's do it. More Oxenfree, baby. And we ended up doing it this year as part of our 12-hour stream on our stream anniversary. And it's not quite as good as Oxenfree 1. It's good. I really enjoy the characters. The company behind Oxenfree, which unfortunately I forget their name, they're really good at writing believable characters. I really, really do appreciate that. One of the things I didn't like as much in Oxenfree 2 is especially the main character seems a little too comfortable with all the weird stuff going on. Whereas Alex in the first game, maybe it's just because she's a teenager, but like you can tell there's a lot of confusion for her along with us as the audience, and it really works well. I don't know if they made it this way in Oxenfree 2 because assuming you've played in Oxenfree 1, you kind of understand and know a little bit more about what's going on, but it didn't seem quite as weird and shocking and crazy as Oxenfree 1 felt. Still very good, still very fun, still very well written, but I don't think it quite hits the same highs that Oxenfree 1 did. So we're gonna end up I'm gonna put it as the highest B tier game. We'll put it right here. I still think if you enjoyed Oxenfree 1, it's worth it. If you haven't played either, I still think it's a good little duology to play. I really enjoy these games. I don't know if they will make a third. It seems like Oxenfree 2 kind of closes the story. If they wanted to do it maybe in another location with another kind of thing, that would be fine. If that dev team wants to make a new game, I could be all for that too. But yeah, that team still, it's a very good game. It just, again, doesn't quite live up to Oxenfree 1 in my mind, unfortunately, but otherwise very good. Next game is Planet of Lana. This was another fun kind of puzzle game, not quite as good as Cocoon, but it has a cute little cat-like blob creature that comes with you and is really cute, Mooey, who, spoilers, at the end becomes God. It's a little confusing, but it's a really fun game. It's a good puzzle game. Some parts were just a little frustrating, I felt, and this one also kind of feels like it drags on a little bit in some sequences. And then there's like the final sequence when you're on the ship that feels almost too short. Like, I guess because like everything else in the game is like done on the planet, even though it's maybe split up into 3 acts, there's like a lot of time in like the jungle and like forest areas in Lana. And then you spend a very small amount of time in a desert and a very small amount of time on the ship. I think the pacing in the game just isn't the best. But the puzzles for the most part are good. Some of them being stealth can make it a little frustrating. But overall, I thought it was still quite good. The music is good. Again, Mooey is adorable. You get to pet Mooey a lot, so that's fun. I would put Planet of Lana about here. I still do think it's worth playing. Maybe at a reduced price, but otherwise, like it's a good game. It's a good game. I thought it was a cute game. Agreed. I thought it was a cute game. I just don't know that it's better than any game above it. But and like as a puzzle game, like I think it definitely has its weaknesses, but overall good. And I think that's what B tier should be. Overall, good. Thumbs up. And yeah, Mooey's super cute. So, all right. Next game. Little game called Portal. So we've already talked about the mod we played for it called Error. Portal is. This might surprise some people. Portal's really good, you guys. No, you a cute game. Revelation of the Century. Portal is good. There is a reason this like has been aped across many different games. Sometime this year we might play some more Portal-esque games. Games that clearly took inspiration from Portal. We had one last year, and it's gonna kind of show up. You can actually see just to my webcam site here that wears Portal on its sleeve, like doesn't even pretend. Now, as a game itself, I still think it's incredibly good. I don't think the escape section, while being different and being like a thing of okay, you've learned how to use the portals, you've learned different ways to use them. Now use them in places that aren't test chambers. That change up is really cool. I just don't think, for the most part, the puzzles in the escape section are as good as the test chambers are. Adding a final boss to your puzzle game is a really cool idea. One that, you know, sort of Cocoon does. Not just for final bosses, but for multiple bosses. Portal feels like a relic of a game and also still feels incredibly relevant because of how many games have drawn inspiration from it. And overall, it's still a very, very, very good game. It still also looks really good, despite being like almost 20 years old at this point. Like, I booted up and I'm like, oh god, this game looks really good. Shockingly good. So yeah, spoilers, we might be playing its sequel sometime this year on stream. Don't hold me. I have a very long list of games we might play this year, so don't hold me to that, but we might play Portal 2 this year. So that would be really fun to go back to as well. Yeah. Oh my god, spoilies. No spoilies. Portal 1 is great. Well, you have a whole year to fill. You know what, here we go. Can I take this off screen here for a second, just to make sure nothing all right, here you go. These are some of the games I went through all my game stores. This isn't even including the Switch, by the way, for the most part, except for like obviously Oracle of Ages. These are games that I have listed out that are in my different game launchers, like the Epic Game Store, Amazon Prime Games, Game Pass, Steam, Ubi, EA, all of them. These are games that I have listed that I could potentially play. We still have to play Jedi Survivor. Alan Wake 2 DLC is coming out. Oracle of Ages, Deliver Us the Moon and Deliver Us Mars. We might be playing that soon. A game called Title Pending. Spoiler, we might be playing that Thursday. Portal 2, Abduction, and Riven, both made by the team at Cyan who created Myst. Riven being actually the direct sequel to Myst. Cube and Cube 2, which are Portal-esque games. Guacamelee 1 and 2, Bioshock, the original. I don't think we'll play more than one Bioshock. Blue Fire, Dragon Age Inquisition, Assassin's Creed, either Syndicate or Origins or Odyssey. I don't know which one, but we might play one of these three. A game called Location Withheld, The World Begins With You, Deus Ex Human Revolution, The Bookwalker, Celeste. This is really far down the list. Nobody get excited about Celeste, okay? Nobody gets excited about Celeste. Gris, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, especially with the sequel coming out this year, potentially. Saints Row I got it, like not the original, but like the remake or reboot or whatever. And Curse to Golf. These games were free on the Epic Store this past week, and we have them now. So this list continues to grow. So, yeah. So we have a lot of games. Back to Portal. I'm gonna put Portal in S tier. One, because of how influential of a game it is. Two, because of how well it still holds up overall. Again, even if I don't love the escape section, but overall, like, it's really good. And I think we've also, the thing about playing it now is the references are enough where you have the cycle of, oh, these references are so cool. Oh, these references are stupid. Oh no, now they're cool again. And we're back in this section. because there was a while there that if I heard one more time that the cake is a lie, I was going to punch someone in the throat. But, now it's been about 20 years. It can come back. It can come back now. So yeah, Portal is so influential and again, I think holds up so very well, all things considering. And again, word of the tier list, it's tight. It is a tight game. We played it in one playthrough. Even getting stuck on a few puzzles, we did it in one playthrough. It's great. It's an amazing, amazing game. All right. Hey, look what's next. This is getting thrown into honorable mentions because we didn't play it on stream, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it. But I can't talk about it too much because the wonderful and amazing Cosmic Cadence is currently streaming this game. So we can't talk about it too much. I am, for reference, I am I'm about to enter the final dungeon of the game. So I have played the vast majority of this game. This game is amazing. It is a love letter to RPGs of the past, while also like upgrading everything and doing a lot of modern quality of life stuff. Using the timed combat system like is in Super Mario RPG is great. Using the triple attacks from Chrono Trigger. There's even one that's basically just X-Cut, which if you're a game that's an RPG at this point and you have triple attacks or double attacks and you don't have an X-Cut, you failed. You failed. So it's good to see that. The characters by and large are fantastic. The main characters themselves aren't the best. They're a little on the bland side, but everyone else is amazing and wonderful. The story is really well done. There's a lot of great moments. Again, no spoilies, but they're there. I think the game is also not too hard, but also not easy. And I can say that now, having especially just played Super Mario RPG. The game is definitely, I think, a good level of toughness, unless you just want an absolutely punishing RPG. This isn't that. Also, they allow, you can kind of save scum your way through the game. I did a little bit. Or I guess it wouldn't be really save scumming. It's more, I would consider, I guess, rest scumming. Resting in this game is very broken. It's very broken. But the art style of like sort of pixelated graphics is really good. The world is very well realized. It's very interesting. There's a lot of hidden stuff going on. If we were tier listing Sea of Stars, this would be an S tier game. It would either be, well, no, it probably would. It would probably be the best 8 tier game. Sea of Stars would probably be right here if we were doing it. But again, we didn't play this on stream at all. Not even like a little bit like we did Tears of the Kingdom. We didn't play it at all. So Sea of Stars stays in honorable mentions. But I cannot stress enough, if you are even remotely a fan of RPGs, play Sea of Stars. It's tremendous and wonderful. All right. Next game, I think, and then I think we're going to take one more break after this game. Because let's see, we've done 4, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, this will be our 20th game. So we'll take a short break after this one, because I can feel my throat starting to struggle again a little bit. Also, chat, thank you for being nice about my throat. So this is our second Riot Forge game of the night. And this was one we played pretty recently. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. This game was really good. I don't think it's the best Riot Forge game. Like, it's definitely not. Song of Nunu was so cute. It really is. It's so freaking cute. Just a lovely story about best friends and about finding family and people you care about. And gosh darn it, it's just cute. I'm so sad we didn't find the hug button until the very end, but I will blame Riot Forge. I believe it's Tequila Works that made this game. Tequila Works, I will blame you a little bit. You didn't put a hug button on the controller, not even like as a combo, like pull both triggers to hug. You didn't do that, and that's a deduction. You made me use the keyboard to do it. But everything is so good in this game. Like, the original voice actors being back. Braum is amazing. Ornn is amazing. Lissandra is fine. She's a little bit too plot dumpy in her monologues. But otherwise she's good. I thought the story about them was very good. It seems like they're really setting up for a sequel. I hope so. I hope the sequel has more boss fights like the final Lissandra fight. Not that combat is a huge part of this game or very like intense, but I actually quite like the final sequence against Lissandra. I thought that was very fun, and I would like to see if they do a sequel, and I hope they do. I would like to see more fights like that, because that's really the only boss fight in the game. You kind of fight Volibear, but not really. It's more just stay alive. And obviously you fight some enemies throughout the game, but those are pretty easy fights. So, and again, this isn't a game about combat, but we also saw like Cocoon had amazing boss fights, and it's a puzzle game. It's not about combat necessarily, so I wouldn't mind seeing some more there. The game is also just a little bit jank sometimes with how it controls, but by and large, it controls well enough. The puzzles are good enough. The art style, the art direction is very well done. The music is, as always for these Riot Forge games, very well done. And it varies up the playthrough a lot. Like when at some point you're puzzle solving, then you're riding Willem down a mountain like a sled, then you're doing a combat sequence, then you're doing some more puzzles, then you're finding a song, you're finding other collectibles, then there's like the stealth section late on in the game, and then you're doing boss fights. Like they keep it varied enough that it doesn't get too boring. I don't think it's the best game in any of those categories, but it does enough of them well that I think the overall package is very good. And again, it's adorable. It's just really stinking cute. So, some tears were shed potentially, while playing the game. So I'm going to give Song of Nunu the top B one right now. Again, I don't think it's great in anything except cuteness, but it's really good in pretty much everything it does. And I think it's very, very solid game. I really do hope they make a sequel to it, because they're clearly setting one up. So I hope that Tequila Works gets the chance to do another one for it. All right. So with that, we're about 2/3 of the way through the tier list. We're going to take another quick break. I'm going to rest up for a minute, and then we're going to go down the final stretch of games here on our 2023 tier list here on Hybrid Let's Play. Stick around. All right, welcome back to Hybrid Let's Play. We are on our final little journey here with our last. This is a look at what we've thrown in the tier list so far. So you can see we've got a lot of good games this year. May revisit some of these in their orders once we finish the entire tier list, but as of now, this is kind of where things are standing. With that, go to our next game here. And this was certainly an interesting game. This is a very interesting game. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. This was a game that came out on April Fool's Day and was not a joke. This game was hilarious. You are correct, Cosmic. This game was quite hilarious. But the best part is, it was good. It was a really good Sonic game, even though it was a visual novel game. It was just so good for what it was. Absolutely. It was fun to do all the voices. Obviously, like, there was some like very, very small puzzling in the game, but it was just fun to kind of go through the story. And like, there were the Sonic, like I wouldn't call them traditional Sonic sections, but the ones where you actually have to like go through and collect rings a couple times. And like towards the end of the game, those were actually getting like decently challenging. But yeah, overall, it was just like this fun, like, story. And you could tell like how much love was put into the game. That's what I really appreciate. Like, because this could have been stupid and cringe and bad, and it wasn't. It was really, really well made. That showed a lot of love for the characters, which is something that doesn't usually happen for Sonic. So I was very happy to see it. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan in the world, but just what an absolute joy to play through. There's like zero replay value, obviously, but it's fun for what it is. I'm gonna put it here in B tier. Yeah, actually, I think I'll put it right here. Well, yeah, I'm gonna put it right here. It's very good, and again, it's free. Like, if you just want to go try this out, and again, it's short. It's only like, I think 3-4 hours tops. Just a fun little game. It's really enjoyable, and it just to come out of absolute nowhere and have the internet going, wait, this isn't an April Fool's joke. This is for real. And then to not only be real, but be good. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I absolutely recommend The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Very, very good. All right. This is a game. One of the others we played back in 2022, technically, but it came after the tier list, so we have to tier it now. This is Spirit of the North. I think this is a game that also has a lot of promise. Unfortunately, where Song of Nunu sometimes has like a little bit of jank controls, Spirit of the North quite frequently had some jank controls. Some of the puzzles weren't quite as good. Like, it's funny that like in back-to-back years towards the end of the year, we played this like very wintry snow themed like story platform puzzle game, and Song of Nunu is just so much better in basically every way than Spirit of the North. Like, there was some, like, you get some interesting powers, but you don't use them a ton. Again, some of the puzzles aren't that good. And then there's that like entire section towards the end when you're in the blue world, and it's just utterly confusing. And I said on stream, like, how that got greenlit, I will frankly never understand. It's not a complete failure of a game, but I'm gonna put it in D tier And the crazy thing is there's a sequel to this game coming out, which shocked me. Absolutely shocked me that there was a sequel to this game coming out. But man, it's just not very good. I was very disappointed in it. But what are you gonna do? Speaking of disappointments, let's talk about Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Now we've played multiple games. In fact, multiple games that are currently on the S tier row that are quite old and have stood up well and held up to the test of time. In fact, hey, we have Metroid Prime, we have Portal, we have the Minish Cap. All these games came out before 2010. Like, all these games are at least 10 years old, if not almost 20. They're all great. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed does not hold up at all. When I was talking about games that graphically don't hold up because of their art style, this is one of them. The Force Unleashed does not hold up at all. It looks like trash. It was in that like 360 era where like everything had like a really bad brown or like ugly puke green filter on it. It just looks bad. It plays janky. There is a level, and it has been clipped. There is a level with a boss that straight up lies to you how you're supposed to beat it. It lies to you. I think this game is just bad. I got it for free on Amazon Prime. It's terrible. The line clip is so funny. It really is. Because it's so true. And it feels so raw. Because I was so gosh darn frustrated. But yeah, I really, really hated this game. I also got the sequel for free. We are never playing that sequel. Ever. I don't care if it's better. We're never playing it. This game does not hold up in the slightest. I am throwing it in F tier. It's our first F tier game of the night. It will not be our last. But it's just, I feel like at this point there's better Star Wars games. If you want a good how dare you? If you want a good Star Wars game, there are good older Star Wars games you can go back to that are better than this. There are new Star Wars games that are better than this. Like, if you really want to play this game, just play Jedi Fallen Order, please. It's just better in like every single way. It's just better. And I feel bad for Sam Witwer, but man, it's just so bad. The Entropy Center. The Entropy Center is on here because we did do a couple streams when they updated it this year, with the ability to do like user created levels. And we did do a few of those. We did get a clip from that one where chat thought it took me longer to do a puzzle room than it did, and they were wrong. But I did enjoy it to an extent. There were definitely some puzzle rooms that were not very good. It's sort of like the Mario Maker effect of sometimes there's like some people who are very good at designing puzzles. Everybody else is kind of bad at it. Just like there's some people that are really good at designing Mario levels. And there's a lot of people who are really bad at it. And that's what you kind of find out in the Entropy Center. The Entropy Center is a phenomenal game. I think, if I remember correctly, I believe it is an A tier game. Yes, it was A tier. When we played it originally back in 2022. Yeah, we're gonna throw it in the honorable mention because again, this was just like a couple streams of doing some user created levels, so I don't want to tier the game again because we already did tier list it, and the update wasn't big enough with like other DLC, like story DLC or anything, to change that. So it's just gonna go in the honorable mention row, just to show that we did do it. I would certainly, if you did enjoy the Entropy Center and you haven't had a chance to check out the update with user created levels, I would certainly give it a go. Because we did play a few good ones, like a few really good ones, but I would try to go find like a curated list or something of good ones. Hybrid likes to cheat. How dare you? I most certainly did not. I would never ever. All right. Next game is the Forest Quartet. This was a one-shot game. This is quite short, actually. This was definitely more story than game. But the worst part I think about this game is that it tries to do some interesting stuff, and I think if it had actually been really focused on trying to make more of a game, I think they could have done some really cool stuff, because there's like some fairly interesting ideas they have in this game, but they just kind of seem like they wanted to just put something out quickly. And again, like the word of the stream apparently is tight. This was a little too tight. None of the puzzles really get a chance to breathe, and a lot of them are also quite easy, where like if they had really tried, it feels like they could have made like a good puzzle game and still told the same sort of story, but it feels really rushed. It's not bad, and again, none of the puzzles are like that sort of obtuse sort of feeling, like except for that one where you're trying to figure out what those weird dudes are doing and how to interact with them. Like it's kind of an interesting story. I feel like the game tries to hint at something bigger, but it really never hits it. It's like sort of competent, but it isn't anything more than that. I'll put it above Hotel Paradise, but not much higher than it. So I think Forest Quartet is firmly C tier. Like it doesn't do a lot wrong, but it doesn't do a lot right or memorable either. And I also think they had a chance to do some interesting things. So it's, you know, a little disappointing that they weren't able to do some more with that. Okay. Let me take a little bit of a drink. All right. Let's talk about the last case of Benedict Fox. Let's talk about it a little bit. I really wanted to like this game. I was begging to like this game. It seems like the absolute most home run idea. Let's make a Metroidvania. I'm ignoring you, chat. Let's make a Metroidvania with like Cthulhu spin and thematics. let's make that. I can't ignore you. Let's do that. And it's like somebody, I said this on the stream and I'm gonna say it again. It's like somebody had
Zephyr_Foxworth paused ACTOS blackout.
Welp. Guess we'll all just sit here and stew for a minute. You know what? This is more interesting than anything that happens in Benedict Fox. Let's just put that there. This is more interesting. Told you that.
Stay positive.
Oh, I'm very positive, Cosmic. Don't you worry. Are we coming back on?
All these elements available, and you choose to be salty.
That's somewhat incongruous. Like they did like this cool art thing, and they said, oh, we should make a game based on that. and like nobody knew how to make a video game. The controls are terrible. If you're going to make a Metroidvania, and I'm not convinced that's actually even now, at this point, I'm not convinced it's what they actually intended to make, but if you're gonna, the movement has to be good. And the combat has to be good. But it was terrible. It was a terrible double jump. The worst double jump I have ever seen. Your double jump is you can only double jump in certain places. Why? I had completely forgotten about this. Why was the double jump only relegated? Just like, it feels like it would be easier to program to just be able to let your character double jump at will. It makes more sense for combat. But no, it didn't. It's a Metroidvania that has essentially 2 boss battles, one really early and one at the end. And frankly, neither one is that good. The rest of the enemies, while sometimes visually appealing, are super joyless to fight, and there's not much variety. The combat is overall bad. The voice acting is just atrocious. The puzzles, which is like the reason I'm like, maybe it's not a Metroidvania and it's more like a Puzzlevania. It's so
We all shine on like a diamond.
Cosmic Cadence cheered 100 bits. Is this opposite day?
It is not opposite day. How dare you? It is sane talking day. It's so efficient with its boss design. Because it also has multiple chase sections, which are like, somebody saw or played Ori and the Blind Forest and was like, oh, we should do sections like that, but aren't good at making those sections. And so they just kind of puked up whatever those are in the game. The collectibles are bad. The upgrades add almost nothing. The story is terrible. Like, there's just Cosmic, also thank you for the 100 bits. There's just, this game has no redeeming qualities outside of its art. And even then, like, in game, it's not very good, which is, it's just so horribly disappointing. And the absolute gall, the cojones.
Shine bright.
Cosmic Cadence just subscribed. Cosmic Cadence gifted a tier 1 sub to Benedict Fox. They have given 109 gift subs in the channel.
Cosmic, thank you for gifting a sub to Benedict Fox. Benedict Fox, please enjoy your gift subscription. And I certainly hope you enjoy your use of emotes. But there were so many great names for Babadook Slimperfish. Yeah, that's the only good thing that came out of this. And it's not even like that's this game's bit. We're taking that bit from Benedict Cumberbatch. That's it. Like, think about it. If the game was called The Last Case of Jeremiah Fox, would we be doing the name thing with it? Probably not. So it's like literal happenstance that anything came from it. Like, I'm sorry. It's a complete and utter failure. Oh, so what I was doing before Cosmic did the gift subscription, they had the balls to put a sequel teaser in the Stinger credits. The absolute gall to put a sequel teaser in there. Too many syllables, not to Greg Fox. He might as well be Greg Fox. There'd be lots of bullfrog jokes. You know what? Fair. That's fair, I guess. I guess I did that for Jeremiah. I cannot get over. And here's the worst part.
Shine bright.
The golf.
Cosmic Cadence just subscribed. Cosmic Cadence gifted a tier 1 sub to Theagle. They have given
Theagle.
110 gift subs in the channel.
Or potentially the Gall. Thank you, Cosmic, for giving a gift subscription to the Gall. You've now gifted 110 subs in this channel. I appreciate every single one of them. I can't believe these are real accounts. I wanted to like this game. I really did. When I first saw it at an E3, I was like, this game looks cool. This game looks awesome. I can't wait to play this. And I was so disappointed. Subs are on sale right now. It's the perfect time for chaos. Look, as long as you don't go full on cursed, do whatever you want. It's more money for me. I was so disappointed in this game. I would have liked to have maybe seen this idea done by, maybe Tequila Works. Hey, Tequila Works. Or not Tequila Works.
Cosmic Cadence just subscribed. Cosmic Cadence gifted a tier 1 sub to Fully Cursed. They have given 111 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Cosmic, for gifting a sub to Fully Cursed. Fully Cursed, please enjoy stuff. If only you could go back in time and get that excitement back to relive that moment. Yes, send me back to 2022 when I thought this game was going to be good. No, I was gonna say the group that made Convergence. I feel like if that group got a hold of this game, it would actually be really good. Because like Convergence and Benedict Fox aren't that different. But one game is just light years better than the other. And it's not just because it's a Riot IP. It's just the talent of the dev team. No, you will still have to play the game and have no, I don't want to. No, I need to go back in time and to when like the game comes out. And I just need to, every time Past Me installs it, I need to just come in and delete it from the computer so that they just think something is wrong with it and never end up playing it. That's what we'll do. Because man, if I could go back in time and not play this game, I would. It is quite possibly the only game I genuinely regret playing. Like, don't get me wrong, The Force Unleashed is bad. And I don't want to play it again, but I don't regret playing it. Because I'm glad we found out. He says all this like what was some of our other F tier games? The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. No, like I'm still fine that we played that, even though it was awful. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, this was okay. So technically, this would have been an honorable mention because we played the demo. We never, but like even just playing the demo, you knew this game was bad. So there you go. That's two games that have joined the illustrious company of Balan Wonderworld and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Because here's the thing, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is also a game that I thought was going to be good and then turned out to be absolute trash. But I don't know. I'm super disappointed because again, the game seems like such a layup of an idea. And it's like me doing a layup in 6th grade Catholic school basketball. Just an utter failure. and a questioning of why we're even out here. So congratulations, Last Case of Benedict Fox. You are not only the worst game of the year, because let's face it, none of these games are coming close to it. You're not only the worst game of the year on the tier list, you are the worst game we have ever played on stream. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your souls. Okay. Seems a little extreme. It's not. That's the thing. It's not. Because here's the thing you have to remember, Cosmic. I have to be family friendly on this stream. So think about how much worse this talk would have been if it was not on stream. Just saying. I don't think you get. Now, do you honestly believe that? Or are you just doing a bit? Because I believe I gave it multiple fair shakes. And it disappointed me at every single turn. The game was not optimized well. The game ran at times like absolute garbage. The controls were bad. The puzzles were bad. Everything was bad. The art style was all right. So if you want to actually genuinely say you don't think I gave the game a fair chance, I will fight you. Because I did. I gave this game multiple fair chances. If I didn't, we would never have gone past like episode 2. I would have just completely dropped it. But I said no. No. I believe there still could be a good game in here. And every single time I booted it up, I was proven wrong. If you didn't like Benedict, let's move on. Because if not, we're gonna be here all night talking about this stupid game, and frankly, it doesn't. That's the worst part about this. It doesn't deserve my rage. That's how bad this game was. It doesn't deserve my rage. It's like the parent going, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's how I feel about Benedict Fox. Even though I am also mad. I'm also very disappointed. Okay. Let's talk about this game. This is The Legend of Zelda. I'm not bad, I'm just God. This is The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. So this is a tough game, I think, to tier list a little bit. Because we played it on NSO, and it's the original game. And it's clear after the Link's Awakening remaster that came out a couple years ago on the Switch, it's clear that like that generation of Zelda games in the modern world has a lot of issues. A lot of issues that aren't necessarily its fault, but are just kind of restrictions of the medium at the time. But it's a lot of things that could be a lot better if it was remade. I think if they made an Oracle of Seasons and Ages, even though we haven't played Ages yet, remake, I think those games would be very, very good. Because a lot of things like, having to constantly reshuffle what items you have, because you can only technically have 2 at a time because the Game Boy only had an A and a B button. Like, that's really frustrating today. Link's Awakening, the remaster, obviously got around that by giving you dedicated buttons for some of the things. Like, you never have to swap out your sword and shield, you always have those, and like 1 or 2 other things, and then you have X and Y to put on 2 more things. So it's just a lot more smooth and modern feeling. And again, that's not the fault of Oracle of Seasons. It's a product, again, of its time. But unfortunately, that's the version we played because Nintendo hasn't bothered to make a remake or if they haven't bothered to release it yet. Which is, again, I think it's disappointing because I think there is a really good game in here. I think there's a very, very, very good game in here. I just think playing it now, like playing Link's Awakening back in the day when it was released, you could kind of forgive the game for a lot of its faults. It's harder to do that in today's world. But like there is the basis of a really good game there. There's a lot of interesting dungeons, even if some of them weren't like my favorite boss fights. Like I think these are some of the lower tier boss fights I've played in any Zelda game. Some of the items are interesting, like the magnesis item sort of thing is somewhat interesting, but some of the enemies that use it aren't really good. Like the bare bones of it, of Oracle of Seasons, is good, but it feels pretty clear at this point that it needs like a remaster. Like, I'm not saying this game doesn't completely hold up. This is not The Force Unleashed by any stretch of the imagination, but it definitely shows its age. Again, I think if they remastered them like they did Link's Awakening, I think that'd be fantastic. Because I think they could do it. They could sell it as a combo and have it so you wouldn't have to use passwords to transfer between the games. And if they wanted to charge $70 for it, I think that would be totally fair. You're essentially getting 2 games for $35 to what could at that point be very good games. I think there's a case there. So I'm going to put this in C tier. I think, and again, this isn't super fair to it, and I'll admit it. Because just some of it is dated, but overall it's still good. Like I can see what is good. I can see why people want this game to be remastered, and I agree. Like I would like this game to be remastered, but as it stands now, to play it in 2023 is not the most enjoyable experience. It's also why we didn't immediately go to Oracle of Ages, because I needed a break. Remember that time you played Awakening on stream? Yeah, that time I played Awakening on stream. That definitely happened. Chat will get this joke one day. They don't get it now, but they'll get that joke one day. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to put Zelda here. If they remaster it, before Oracle of Ages, before we play Oracle of Ages, I could totally see that jumping up to here. But as it stands right now, and again, if we had played this back in the early 2000s, when it came out, I would, again, probably throw it up here, but I just can't do that. So top of C tier, unfortunate, but it is what it is. So now we have our third and final Riot Forge game of the night. This is the Mage Seeker. This is the Silas game. I think this game is quite good. I also think it's overall the weakest when we play in Ages. Let's wait for at least this first Nintendo Direct, probably in February, and then we'll see. Because I don't want this to be another Metroid Prime situation where we play through it and we get to the end and then Nintendo says, "Hi, here's Metroid Prime Remastered." And I'm like, dang it. So we'll see. It is on the list. We'll certainly have to play through it one day, but I don't have an exact time when we'll be playing that. They wouldn't. Oh no, I think it's I was about to say they did it for Super Mario RPG, but I think that's on the Virtual Console for the Wii U, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you never know. I I think I would agree with that, but I also think, like, has Grezzo been doing anything? Because I think Grezzo's the one that does all like the Zelda remasters. I think they're the ones who did Link's Awakening and did a pretty darn good job of it. I don't know if Grezzo's working on anything right now. I think your logic is good, Zephyr, but I don't know. Like the only other example we really have is Metroid Prime, but we don't have GameCube games at all on the service, so it's hard. There's nothing definitive there. I don't know. Like I could see, because Minish Cap is a little more advanced, I could see them holding off on like ever remastering that for a while. Like, I don't know, those Oracle of Ages and Seasons, like, I feel really need a remaster, like really badly. Like I think Minish Cap plays fine enough, and again, it's why it's in A tier, because I think that game today holds up well for the most part without a remake, even though it'd be cool if it also got a remake. I don't think Oracle of Seasons right now holds up very well. Just too much from the Game Boy era, which needs to be corrected. But fingers crossed. I hope they do. I really hope they do. Or maybe it'll be on Switch 2. Hey guys, it's Switch 2 is coming this year. Finally. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? All right, back to the Mage Seeker. I think this is the weakest Riot Forge game. Not that it's bad by any stretch. But it's, of the 4 we've played, it's the only one that has basically no voice acting. Like Morgana's voice actress is in it, but other than that, there's almost no voice acting in it. While I think the pixel art is very good, it's also the only game of the 3 that doesn't have more realized art, I guess is the word I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say pixel art is bad. Again, I thought Sea of Stars kind of does pixel art and does it very well. But when you look at the art of Convergence and Song of Nunu and Ruin King, and then you put it up against Mage Seeker, you're like, I wish we had some of that other type of art for this game as well. Again, not that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's still quite good. It's just kind of a contrast of the other games. And the combat, I feel, gets a little more repetitive than the others, especially Convergence, which is the other like combat heavy game. It is fun. It is interesting. It keeps the different spells and trying to weave them in is fun and is very Silas-y. And when you do get zipping around and really using your chains well, it does really feel like you're Silas, and it is a lot of fun. It feels really good. Like, the combat doesn't feel bad at all. Don't get me wrong. The combat actually feels very smooth, especially when you get a handle of how to do it. But the enemies get a little repetitive. The zones definitely get repetitive. And the story is like pretty good, but a little predictable. I'm gonna throw it here in the middle of B tier. I'm gonna put it right here, right in the middle of B tier. So definitely not a bad game. I still think it's quite good, as are the other Riot Forge games, but I think it's the weakest one that I've played, at least so far. I know there's the Ziggs game, which is like a rhythm game that I'm probably never going to play. And I know they're coming out with, at some point in this next year, the Stardew Valley-esque game, which again, we'll probably never play on this stream. But at least looks interesting. So, again, I hope Riot Forge keeps making games and putting out games, because so far the ones we've played on stream have been just massively good. So even Mage Seeker being here, like, this is the worst, and it's still middle B tier. Like, these games are really good. I really hope they keep doing more of these games. I hope they've sold well. League of Legends, speaking of, we didn't play it on stream this year, so it goes in honorable mentions. Had a lot of fun this year with it. again, didn't play it on stream, so it goes, for the first time, it goes into the honorable mentions category. All right, winding down here with our last couple games. Watch Dogies. This one had the unfortunate reality of coming in after we played its sequel, which does pretty much everything Watch Dogs 1 does, but way better. It's crazy. It's like Ubisoft actually listened to the criticisms, a lot of the criticisms of Watch Dogs 1, and went, okay, I guess we can fix some of that. And they did. They fixed a lot of it. Not having to shoot your way out of missions is great. Basically making it where you can almost do a complete pacifist run of the entire game is awesome and really makes you feel like a hacker. Whereas you can't really do that in Watch Dogs 1, unfortunately. Chicago, I also never felt was quite as fun to go around in as the Bay Area. It still looks really good, but the Bay Area just had a lot more flavor to it than Chicago did, unfortunately. Aiden Pierce is a lot less interesting than as a bland Batman analog than the team in Watch Dogs 2. Now that said, most of the gameplay is still very fun. There's just also not quite as much actual hacking, which feels kind of bad. So again, this is a game that like if we hadn't played Watch Dogs 2 first, I would probably think a little more highly of, but because of where I've seen that this series could be, it unfortunately does affect my ranking of it. So it's going to be in C tier. I think I'm going to put it right after Zelda here. Two flawed but good games. Yeah, unfortunately for Watch Dogs, yeah, just coming out or coming to us at the wrong time. I wouldn't even say it's not worth it to play though. Like if you enjoy open world games and you played Watch Dogs 2, it's not a bad thing to play. You just have to know going in, it's just not gonna be as good as Watch Dogs 2. Will we play Watch Dogs Legion one day? Maybe. I'm not ruling it out. I didn't put it on my list, but I'm not ruling it out either, that maybe one day we'll go grab it. But no real plans on that so far. And then finally, this will also be our last honorable mention game. This is Wavetail. We did it as a demo that ended up being a lot shorter, I remember. This was also a 2022 end of the year game. I remember we did the demo and we had only lasted like less than 20 minutes. I was like, oh no. And then I had to like scramble and find something else to play. The game seemed interesting though. Maybe I'll put this on my Steam like wish list so that if it goes on like a big sale, maybe we'll grab it, because like the game played really well, the controls felt really good, the art was pretty good. I don't actually remember that one. Let's see real quick. Your channel. Search. Wave. Is this one where you kind of like raced across the water with your shadow? And you would like, you could go to different areas and you could do like some platforming and flipping and stuff.
Little sticklebacks won't work for machinery like this. Only good for pocket change.
I don't know if this
Grandma, you're confused.
this showing it actually like jogs your memory or anything. But yeah, this was Wavetail.
Let's see, is there anything?
Hey, past me.
Oh.
Realizing now, I never put up my Christmas lights this year. Unfortunate.
Halo.
I maybe vaguely remember this one. Yeah.
All right. Spark apparently around here somewhere.
Yeah, this was like a pretty interesting game. Like I wouldn't mind again if I could get it on sale. I wouldn't mind maybe trying this one sometime.
Ooh, there's a thing up there though.
You look like you're wearing the same shirt. That's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely not because we just got this one. But yeah, I guess it kind of does. For you to put away Xmas lights and not take it out.
Floundering intense. Hello, I thought I saw someone running on water, but
Anyway,
whatever.
do you ever clean up around there? I do. I actually just cleaned up today.
Usual means of
A little bit. We cleaned up our oh no. There we go. That was broken for a second. That's fine now. I cleaned up some cans here today. They were off to the side that you can't see. So that's all good. We do have a lot of honorable mentions. Again, these are the only two that are in honorable mentions. He's the only that's actually true. If we were throwing these in here, it would be more like this and this. So really honorable mentions would really be more like this. And then Tears of the Kingdom would be here, and Sea of Stars would be about here. So, but as of now, they are in the honorable mention one. All right, so now we've done every game. Let's take a look and see if there's anything we want to move around. Let's see. I think I'm gonna move Metroid Prime here. I think I'm gonna do this. I think Metroid Prime is a little better than Convergence, not by much. I'm gonna keep Portal. I'm gonna keep Portal on S tier. Coon, Mario RPG, Beast. That we did. Mommy Camille. Cocoon. Yeah, Cocoon would definitely be the best of these three. Even though Mario RPG was really good, I think Cocoon is a little better. And then like for B tier, I think B tier is pretty solid. I think I'm actually gonna move. I'm gonna move Pyre here because this game got really boring after the first like cycle. Again, like because I'm realizing now, like if Zelda's gonna take hits for things that are more fault of the time when it came out, then Pyre can take some hits for not being a kind of genre game I like. I'm surprised you had Nunu that low. Well, I think to sum it up, why I would have it be in B tier, but the top of B tier game is like it's kind of a jack of all trades. Like it's very good in a lot of areas, but besides being cute, I don't think it's great at anything. I think it's very good and solid at a lot of things. Pretty much everything it does, really. But I don't think it's great. They did still, yes. Multiple times, actually, that happened. Although bugs didn't stop Ruin King from being an S tier, so. But yeah, I think Nunu is the best B tier game because I think it's just, yeah, very, very solid, very good at doing a lot of things, but not being astounding or amazing at really any of them. But again, very good. And again, Tequila Works, please convince Riot to do a sequel. You guys did great. I want to see more. Yeah, I think this is good B tier now. I think this is good C tier. Why are you whispering? I don't know. 'Cause whispering can be fun sometimes. I think I'm gonna drop this game down because it's interesting, but it's also kind of infuriating, and it's also not really much of an actual video game besides just running through corridors. Like, I'm gonna drop this down here. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna even do that. And then, yeah, these two are definitely down here, and this is the order they should definitely be. So yeah, I think this is good. I think this is where we want to lock in. We can zoom in a little bit here. So to round it out and to go through it one more time, our S tier games in order from best to worst are Alan Wake 2, which is our game of the year, Metroid Prime, Convergence, and Portal. Our A tier games are Cocoon, Super Mario RPG, and The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Our B tier games are Song of Nunu, Oxenfree 2: Lost Signals, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, The Mage Seeker, A Short Hike, and Planet of Lana. Our C tier games are The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons, Pyre, Watch Dogs, Error the Portal mod, and The Forest Quartet. Our D tier games are Starfield, Spirit of the North, and Hotel Paradise. And our F tier games are Star Wars: The Force Unleashed and The Last Case of Benedict Fox. And our honorable mentions are 1080 Snowboarding, Pilot Wings 64, Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope, The Entropy Center, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Sea of Stars, League of Legends, and Wavetale. And if we were gonna throw Zelda and Sea of Stars in, it would be Zelda would actually be our game of the year, and Sea of Stars would be the best A tier game. So there you go. Undeservingly, how dare you? How dare you? So there you go. Any actual complaints? Any actual gripes? Besides, nothing about Benedict Fox. I'm striking that from the record. Anybody else have any gripes, questions, comments, concerns about any of our rankings? Because I'm at this point, I'm pretty happy with them. And again, just looking back on the year, what a great year for video games that came out. Well done, Cosmic. Like, obviously a terrible year for the industry at large, but as far as the games that came out, what a great year for video games to come out. A lot of really, really great games. I have one suggestion, but I was told. Go ahead, Midnight. What is your suggestion? Go ahead. I am a fair and benevolent overlord. Nothing really? Oh yeah? It was just funny. I am Zen. I will advocate when you do play Ages to re-rate Seasons and Ages as a separate single entry. So you mean once I play Ages, do a single 2-part entry? So essentially, The Legend of Zelda Oracles will be a tiered game, is what you're saying I should do, Zephyr. I want to make sure I'm understanding you right, because I think that's what you're suggesting. And I can be, if that is what you're suggesting, I can be totally down to do that. You might have to remind me. But I can be told, because I do know they are connected as an actual story. Ages and Oracles as 2 entries. Okay, got it. So do Ages as its own entry, and then do a second entry of the Oracle games as a package deal. Got it. Okay. Yeah, just you might have to help me remember that, but I can totally go with that. I can vibe with that. So I am fine with that suggestion. Yeah, this was a good year. Definitely a lot more hits than misses. Again, like, I know the joke was like, man, we had some really bad games this year, and we did. I don't care what you say, chat, we did. I will remind you in 4 years for the Master Ages. Fair enough. But we had a lot of really great games this year. I will say, like, we had a lot of really, really great games we played on stream this year. And even like if we took Sea of Stars out, because we did play Zelda on stream, like we put Sea of Stars, like this is still, I think this is the most S tier games we've had. If I can pull up our lists one more time here. This is our 2022 list, and we had 3 S tier games. I can zoom in here for a second. We had 3 S tier games. We had a bunch of A tier games and a bunch of B tier games, and then a few C tier games, D and F. I also think maybe we just played more games. 3, 6, 9. Dang, that's fine. 12, 15, 16, 20. Yeah, we only played 22 games in 2022. And in 2021, we played 2, 5, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we played 22 games each of the last 2 years, and we played 31 games this year. So maybe that's part of it too, is just that we played like a bunch more games actually this year. I guess 30 technically if you don't count Sea of Stars. We didn't play Sea of Stars on stream. So yeah, a very even distribution of games. And even like, again, the C tier games weren't even, and I guess this is why they're C tier, because C tier is like average. The C tier isn't bad. It just, I wouldn't call them good either. But I would also say that every single one of these games has good qualities to it. Oracle of Seasons definitely has like some very good dungeons and has like a very cool overworld and a very cool Seasons concept. And it has the depths, which was interesting, and I'm sure was way even more interesting when it first came out. So that's cool. Pyre obviously has a lot of great writing and narrative and art style. It just isn't a game for me. Watch Dogs is good. It's just clearly overshadowed by its sequel. Error has some really good ideas in the beginning of the game and is really spooky. And the Forest Quartet is like, again, also has a few interesting ideas. They just didn't expound on them well enough. So yeah, even like the C tier games, these aren't bad. It's only once you hit this point that there's like major problems. So yeah, I think this was a really good year for games on stream. So I think though that will about do it. This actually took quite a bit longer than I thought it would. I was like, oh goodness, what am I gonna do? Like, because I felt like I was gonna have, I didn't even need to go to this scene. I thought I was gonna need to have like a backup game or something ready to go, and no, we've been going for over 2.5 hours. I think this is definitely our longest tier list stream. Definitely had stuff to talk about, so that helped. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I don't know why that's on there. That's okay. So thank you all of you for coming out tonight. I really do appreciate it. This was a bunch of fun to do. This is truly like, I know I joked a lot. This is one of my favorite streams to do every year. One, to be able to look back and like see what we've done on stream this year, or I guess the year before now, since it's technically 2024 when we're doing this, but also like to talk with you guys about it, and reminisce about all the good times and the bad times. But this was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do this year's tier list. I think we're going to play a bunch of more great games on stream this year. And if some of them are bad, then it'll still be fun to talk about when we close out 2024. But thank you all for coming out tonight. This has still been a blast. So yeah, 2023 tier list is in the books. We'll be back this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be starting up with our first game of 2024, and we'll see if we can keep the good times rolling. We ended 2023 with Super Mario RPG. Technically, I guess it was 1080 snowboarding, but the last full playthrough we did with Super Mario RPG. Oh, I don't have a hood. Oh, thank you, Midnight. Thank you for making it rain, though. Oh, we're getting so damp in here. Oh no. But that's okay. That's okay, because we'll dry off now. Yes, we need to repower up the holiday tree. We need to give it its strength back. I appreciate that. Thank you, Midnight. So again, yeah, this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. we'll be playing a new game. I believe that will probably be a one-shot, so we'll probably be able to do the whole game that night. Then on Saturday, we'll be starting something else. Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, please come on out for that. If you want to check out our socials, they are in the chat. They're also in the very real sign right back here, which maybe the next time you see it, we'll have gotten a little bit of an upgrade. But it's Hybrid Let's Play 1 on Twitter, Hybrid Let's Play on Instagram, and @Hybrid Let's Play on YouTube. If you want to check out any of our previous tier list videos, they are on the YouTube page, along with any of the full playthroughs that we've done. Super Mario RPG should be completed by this Wednesday. So if you've missed any of it, by Wednesday you'll be able to go back and watch the entirety of Super Mario RPG and any other playthrough we've done so far. I'm really excited for this year. This is going to be a great year, I think. I will say, I don't know many games that are coming out this year that I'm excited about. So if anybody has ideas for games in 2024 that are being released that might be good, send them over, either in the Discord, which of course is the Cosmic Space. You can shoot me a message there, or you can just get me on the socials over there as well. I don't know if not very optimistic. Yeah, I know, like, it's weird. Like, I was looking at what games come out this year, and at least for like the first part of the year, I didn't really see that much. Like, there's that Princess Peach game coming out, which seems interesting, but I just don't know enough about it yet to know if I'd want to actually play it on stream. There's Thousand Year Door remake, which I never played Thousand Year Door, so we might be doing that. And like, as far as PC games, I don't know a ton that's coming out this year, so I don't know. We'll see. But if anybody has anything that's not The Last Case of Benedict Fox, throw it over here, and maybe we'll check it out. But again, if you want to go back to some of the games I am thinking of playing this year, you can go check out that list from during the stream. Unfortunately, I don't have a timestamp for that. Sorry. But we do have a very big list. So even if this year is a little dry, we have a lot of games that we need to play. A lot. Hand of Fate sometimes. What is Hand of Fate again? Is that like Slay the Spire type game? I think you mentioned one time. We might take a look at that. What about The Last Case of Benedict Fox 2? No. Same answer. If anybody suggests Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, no. Not happening. You know what, actually, the more I think about it, I would rather play The Last Case of Benedict Fox 2 than Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. I would give it one stream. I would give them a chance. And if it's bad, I will never stop bagging on them for that. I will destroy them. I will go in with an open mind, but if it's bad again, I will rip them to pieces, which could be fun. So maybe we'll see if they put it on. That's gonna do it, I think, though, for this stream. Real quick here. Let me see. Oh, actually, I should probably just do it on here. Boop. Let me see. Cosmic, if you're there, I think we might be going on a magical journey. Let me see though. Ooh, yes, and Cosmic, thank you for throwing the raid messages in chat there. Let's see. So I have an idea, but I'm gonna give it a second here. We're gonna see. Actually, you know what? We're gonna see. Is anybody playing the last? Somebody is playing the last. No? Actually, wait a minute. Nobody's playing the last case of Benedict Fox. Nobody's playing it. Unlucky. What else? We could warn them. We could say stop. You don't know what you're messing with. Alan Wake 2, maybe? Is anybody playing Alan Wake 2? Oh yeah, a bunch of people are playing Alan Wake 2. Maybe we'll do that. That's too much. Let's see. Let me think of anything else real quick. No. All right. I think what we're gonna do is we are going to raid Mads Hatter. They are currently playing Baldur's Gate 3. So I think we're going to raid them. So Cosmic, if you wouldn't mind doing the shout out command so we could get a clip from them on the channel. They are currently playing Baldur's Gate 3. Or if you're in game or something, I guess I can do it. Oh, no. But I think you had to do SO to do the actual like clip. I really need to make this apparently an alias for it. That's okay. So yeah, we'll raid into them and see how they're doing playing the Baldur's Gates. And yeah, so if you are a subscriber of the channel, go ahead and do raid message 1. Hey, there we go.
This is awesome that they just fucking stay here.
Alive, so that's progress.
I can walk around as him. Look. Oh, that is just cool. Oh my god. The like lumbering walk. I fucking love this game so much. That's it.
All right, so there you go. We're gonna be raiding into them. So again, if you are a subscriber, if you got one of Cosmic's gift subs, go ahead and use raid message 1. If not, use raid message 2. And one more time, thank you everyone for not joining me just today, but throughout the year. Thank you for making 2023 an amazing year. We played a lot of great games, and I cannot wait to just play some more amazing games here with you in 2024. I hope you all stay safe, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I'm Hybrid for Hybrid Let's Play, and until I see you in the next stream this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, take control, take care, and join us on the raid.